Hey y'all, it's Heel Heat time.
Hi everybody and welcome to Heel Heat. This is our WWE show for the week. My name is George Coles and let's jump right into it. First off, we're going to do the so-so portion of the show. The show that really didn't impress, didn't depress, didn't feel good about, didn't feel bad about. Mostly the forgettable stuff. First up, the opening segment with Triple H and Stephanie McMahon, who prepare to introduce Batista, but get interrupted by Orton, and then Batista comes out. I understand they had to let the cat out of the bag once Batista was announced at some shows later this month. However, this is, for the build-up, this felt really lackluster. I don't know if it was the fact that Dave Batista's lost some size to him, or the ridiculous outfit he was wearing where he looked like Pitbull with the skinny jeans and tracksuit jacket and glasses. I don't know. It didn't feel like a big major player was coming back to WWE like it should with a guy like Dave Batista, who is a big major player, who should automatically jump right into the main event picture. I don't know. Just kind of fell flat in my opinion. Now, next up is another segment that kind of fell flat. Kind of felt like filler. And it's two guys I think can actually do better. Fandango and Xavier Woods. They came out, Xavier didn't get an intro. Fandango had partial intro. And it was just a short match. It was weird that Fandango won so convincingly. I don't know. It's almost like they had to cut some time out, so this match suffered for it. But to me, it's not something I'm going to remember down the line. I think both guys could be used better as new up-and-coming guys. I mean, I think they're both good in-ring talents. Just something about this match didn't connect with me. Much like the next match. For probably the 4,000th time, Rey Mysterio Jr. Rey Mysterio in WWE versus Alberto Del Rio. Del Rio wins. I don't know. I've seen them two do better. The whole time I knew what was coming. I knew this was just leading up to Batista confronting Del Rio, which he did, and he hit the spine buster, and then did a release Batista bomb, I guess is what you would call it, because he didn't sit out with it. I'm guessing because the skinny jeans would have probably destroyed his manhood if he tried to do a sit-out powerbomb, or they would have blew apart into oblivion if he tried it. I don't know. Again, way too predictable on a match that just didn't impress. Now another thing, and this was probably one of my big disappointments of the night, it wasn't bad. It just took too long, and nothing really was established. Big Show calling out Brock Lesnar. Big Show making fun of Paul Heyman beforehand. Brock Lesnar kind of playing the cowardly heel, backing off from him. If they didn't just do this a couple weeks back, maybe it would have flew better for me. And I know that they're setting it up to make Big Show look like a legitimate threat to Brock Lesnar at Royal Rumble. I didn't see it. I don't think this interaction, and then it went on for way too long, in my opinion. I don't see it. It didn't garner interest for their match to me, in my opinion. Now, last but not least in the so-so section, we had the Uso brothers with a big win over Harper and Rowan. Again, another thing, kind of like I said earlier with the Batista-Alberto Del Rio interaction, I expected what was going to happen here. And of course it did. And we'll get into another portion of this that led into this a little bit later on the show. But Daniel Bryan came out and attacked Bray Wyatt, which distracted the Wyatt family, which caused the Usos to win. I don't know. To me, I've seen these two teams go against each other and have excellent matches. And I knew what was going to happen with Daniel Bryan. I knew it from the second that we we seen Bray Wyatt on the 8 just sitting there. To me, I expected better from this, I guess. And no knock to Daniel Bryan and the reaction he got for what he did, because he got a tremendous reaction. Just to me, it was way too cliched. I mean, the good guy repents, he's back with his friends. A little bit too cliche. Now, on to our bad portions of the night. I have to do this every week, and if you watched a video I put out a few days ago called George Versus, you'll see that I am not a hater of women's wrestling. I actually want it to be better than it is. But we get yet again another boring Divas tag team match. AJ Lee and Tamina versus the Funkadactyls. The Funkadactyls get a surprise roll-up win. I don't know. There's talent to be there. There's talent there. There's talent in developmental. They could really have a seriously good Divas division and flesh out storylines and give us better than what they give us. They have, and I mentioned this on the other video if you guys want to go back and watch it, they have 6 hours of primetime television and we're relegated to maybe 10 minutes of Diva matches. And this is what you get. And to me it was just a bad match. I don't think these four have a chemistry. I don't know. Maybe they could do better if they had something more. But I don't know that they could. Now next up, we had the main event of the night. Yep, I'm putting that in the bad section. Kofi Kingston versus Randy Orton, who was told earlier had to face Kofi again, kind of try and repent for his sins of last week. And also he had to apologize to John Cena, which we had a camera on the back all night, seeing when Cena would come. Isn't it funny that these guys show up with 5 minutes left of their work night? They show up at 10:55, right at 11 o'clock, when you know the show starts at 8. I mean, it's a little bit cliche that you're waiting all night for the guy to come and then he arrives in the last 5 minutes. Cena chases Orton all around the building. I don't know. Again, it was something much like I said with Show and Lesnar and Heyman. It didn't sell Orton Cena pay-per-view for me. Obviously they were going something with the whose car did he jump in, because Michael Cole seemed to make a big deal about it. But it just didn't do anything for me, in my opinion. And again, it was something that was very predictable. Now, coming off of that, before we get into the stuff I actually thought was good on the show, we're going to go into our question of the week. The question of the week from last week was, with the WWE Network coming out soon, what would you like to see as a show added to the network if you could make your own show? First, here's an answer from our friend Paul from the Deadly Sins. I'd like to take all the guys who say they can eat a ton, Khali, Ryback, Triple H, etc., and put them in a house. Once a week they have a time-based eating competition. Person with the worst time gets the boot. Fitting that Paul would give us something like that. If you haven't seen some of our friends over at the Deadly Sins and their videos, go check them out. They're great guys, first of all. Second of all, they put out great videos, a lot of gaming videos. Also, they do a lot of eating challenges. It's kind of a 50-50 mix. And kind of fits into what Paul likes and Paul agrees. I think it would be interesting. It's a little bit different twist on a reality show. We've never really seen a competition eating / reality show, so it's something new and fresh at least. I think it could be fun, especially if they do like a kind of an Iron Chef kind of thing where no one knows what the special ingredient is. Could be cool. I'm digging the idea, Paul. It would definitely be something I would tune in for. Now, my opinion, and I'm going to say what I said on my previous video. We're going to have the network. It's going to ask for a brand new time frame. You could tape them at the different tapings before you do whatever you do. Raw, SmackDown, main event. Hell, you could even tape them at NXT's developmental area. Why can't we have a 1 hour Divas Diva show. And I'm not talking Total Divas. I'm talking about Divas Wrestling. Give us a 1 hour wrestling show just with the Divas. Build up the division. You can intertwine them with Raw, with SmackDown. They don't have to be exclusive to this show. But give us a show where you can build their characters as much as you build the male characters. It ties in with the video I just made a few days ago. Sorry I keep self-promoting. I'm not really trying to. But it's a hot-button topic on my mind, especially with the passing of one of the all-time greats, Mae Young, a few days ago. It's really been something I've been thinking about with how bad the Divas division is. But that's my idea for a show. A 1 hour show. Doesn't have to be nothing huge. No 3 hour. Could be taped. Do it easy. Give us promos. Give us backstories. Give us feuds. Give us a reason to care. Now, coming off of that, my question of the week for this week kind of feeds off of that. Now, that's an underused division. The question of the week for this week is, who do you think is the most underused talent in the WWE right now? Let us know what you think. Hit us up on Facebook, hit us up on Twitter. Put it down where? Down in the comments. And next week we'll talk about that. Now, coming from that, we're going to get into the good segment. These are the few things that I really enjoyed of the night. The Rhodes Brothers and Big E Langston versus The Shield. The Shield coming out looking as strong as ever in the match against 3 champions. I totally dug that aspect. I haven't liked that they got away of pushing the Shield as the dominant force that they once were, but this match showed them as what they can be. Hopefully, maybe they're keeping them together for a longer period of time. I know everybody's waiting for the breakup, but why does it have to be so quick? You don't have to break them up for a year, 2 years. You can keep them together for 3 or 4 years. I mean, they don't have to break up. Some of the most successful factions didn't break up right away. The Four Horsemen, they had people come in and out, but they stayed a faction. The NWO stayed a faction for a few years. DX had its different incarnations, almost said incarcerations. I'm sure a few of them had incarcerations. But the DX Army stayed as a crew for over a year. Man, I think it's more than 2 even. So I think that they shouldn't be so quick to break up the Shield. And I'm happy to see them making the Shield look dominant again. Speaking about something dominant, the dominating story on WWE, Daniel Bryan came out, explained how he had to infiltrate the Wyatt family to get to Bray Wyatt. Fantastic promo by Daniel, had the crowd all on his side. We see Bray Wyatt come on the screen. He cuts a promo back, basically calling Daniel Bryan a traitor, telling him to say he's apologized to his mother because everything that happens from now on is on Daniel Bryan. Fantastic piece of storytelling. Like I said earlier, it led into the interaction that we had earlier, which I wasn't a real big fan of because it was way too predictable. When you got 2 unpredictable elements like Daniel Bryan and Bray Wyatt, I'd rather see him do something like this where you don't know what's going to happen. And it was kind of exciting. Good back and forth promo. Good way to sell their match at the Royal Rumble. Now, last but not least, the thing, and it might be my favorite thing other than the 6-man tag match. We had Kane coming out to apologize to CM Punk, which Punk attacked, which brought out Brad Maddox, who said, Kane, you can't fight Punk, but we got one of these 2 guys will. He sends out the New Age Outlaws. They do rock, paper, scissors. Billy Gunn wins or loses, depending on how you look at it. Billy Gunn gets a match with CM Punk. Other than a few times Billy Gunn got a little bit winded in the match, which you could see, which I'm not blaming the guy. He's getting up there in age, and he's been wrestling for 20 years now. He looked good. I mean, he held his own against one of the best wrestlers in the world. Obviously, CM Punk picked up the win. A couple little amusing things I thought about it. At one point, Billy Gunn takes off his shirt and his hair is out of its normal ponytail. He looked like a spitting image of Randy the Ram from The Wrestler, which kind of fits who he is, but he's done a little bit better than Randy the Ram did in life. I thought it was a solid match. Solid fun. I like the New Age Outlaws. The only thing I don't like about this run is I don't understand why they're heel. There's somebody the fans want to cheer. Why are they heel? They shouldn't be heel. They should never be heel. But, other than that, very fun match. Kind of cool to do. I'm sure CM Punk enjoyed every second of it. But, now let's go into our ratings for the week. If you've seen the show before, we have a 1 to 5 scale. 1 being the worst, 5 being the best. 1's a great Khali, 2's a Heath Slater, 3's a Randy Orton, 4's a CM Punk, 5's a Daniel Bryan. I'm giving the show a 3, a Randy Orton. Very middle of the road, as you can see by my ratings. All the segments that fit in the so-so area instead of the good or bad area. To me, very middle of the road show. Not what I would want from a major pay-per-view go-home show. But it is what it is. Basically, that's all I have to say about that. My name is George Coles, and this has been another episode of Heel Heat.